Welcome to Starbound Valor HFY. Subscribe now and dive into daily epic sci-fi adventures where humanity always rises. Deep space was silent, cold, and endless. Stars burned far away like weak lights in a black ocean. Between them, the void waited, empty and uncaring. In that darkness, a small alien ship drifted slowly, its engines damaged and its hull cracked. Power was failing. Lights inside the ship flickered like dying candles. The crew knew the truth they did not want to say out loud. They were alone, and they were running out of time. The ship belonged to a peaceful alien species that rarely traveled far from safe trade routes. They were explorers, not warriors. Their bodies were thin, their hands delicate, and their minds trained for science, not battle. Now fear filled the control room. Sensors showed nothing but empty space, yet everyone felt watched. The captain stood near the main console, gripping the edge tightly. He had seen many stars in his long life, but never had space felt this cruel. Hours earlier, enemy ships had appeared without warning. Fast, sharp, and merciless, they attacked without words. The alien ship tried to flee, but its engines were too weak. A single hit damaged their core systems. The enemy did not finish them. Instead, they hunted other targets, leaving the broken ship drifting like trash. That was worse than death. The captain knew the enemy would return once they were done elsewhere. The crew worked in silence, trying to repair what they could. Sparks flew. Tools failed. Power cells died one by one. Each alarm sound felt louder than the last. The ship's computer gave cold updates in a calm voice, listing system failures without emotion. Oxygen levels were falling. Long-range communication was damaged. Short-range signals would not reach anyone. The nearest friendly system was too far. The captain looked at the faces around him. Some crew members closed their eyes in fear. Others stared at the screens, hoping for a miracle. He knew there was only one choice left. A choice his people believed was useless. Slowly, he walked to the emergency console. His hand hovered over a single command. It was old technology, used only in legends and last moments. A wide-range distress call. "This signal will go into the void," one officer whispered. "No one listens out there." The captain nodded. "I know," he said quietly. "But the void is all we have left." He entered the command. The ship shuddered as it used the last of its power. Antennas extended. A signal formed, weak but clear. It carried no language at first, only a universal pattern of pain and need. Then basic data followed. Location. Damage level. A simple message translated into every known code. "We are dying. We need help." The distress call left the ship and rushed outward, faster than light, racing through empty space. It passed dead stars and silent worlds. It crossed borders of empires that did not care. Most systems ignored it. Automated defenses marked it as low priority. Ancient satellites logged it and forgot it. The signal kept going, alone in the dark. Back on the ship, the crew waited. Minutes felt like hours. No response came. The captain felt the weight of failure press on his chest. He had sent his people's final cry into nothing. The enemy would return soon. He ordered the crew to gather in the safest section of the ship. It was a small mercy, but it was all he could give. Then something changed. A junior officer gasped. "Captain," she said, her voice shaking. "I am detecting something." The captain turned. "Enemy." "No," she replied slowly. "Unknown." The scanner screen filled with readings. Not ships. Not weapons. Signals. Massive signals. Too strong. Too many. The computer struggled to process them. They were coming from a direction no one expected. From a region marked on every star map with warning symbols. "That area is forbidden," another officer said. "Deathworld territory." Fear spread through the room like poison. Every species in the galaxy knew the stories. Worlds with crushing gravity. Violent storms. Creatures that evolved through constant struggle. Civilizations born in pain and war. Species from such places were dangerous. They were called Deathworlders. Most avoided them. The captain stared at the data. Are they responding to us? I think so, the officer answered. The signal changed direction. It slowed. It is being traced. Silence fell. The crew did not cheer. They did not celebrate. Help from Deathworlders was not a simple thing. Legends said they were brutal, fast to anger, and unstoppable in war. No one knew how they treated the weak. A new signal appeared. Simple, direct, powerful. It carried no threat, yet it felt heavy, like a giant moving in the dark. The ship's computer tried to translate. The words were short, almost rough. "Distress call received," the message said. "Hold position." The captain felt his legs weaken. They had been heard. Truly heard. Not by traders. Not by patrols. But by something far greater. He did not know if this was salvation or the final step toward destruction. Outside the ship, space remained dark, but it no longer felt empty. Far away, engines burned with terrifying strength. Massive fleets turned as one, changing course. Armor-clad ships moved through the void with purpose. They were not gentle. They were not slow. They were answering a call. On the broken alien ship, the crew waited in fear and hope, watching the stars. The void had carried their cry. And somewhere in the darkness, the Deathworlders were coming. Far away from the broken alien ship, beyond safe routes and polite space, the distress signal entered a region most maps avoided. Stars there burned harsh and bright, surrounded by fields of debris and scars of old battles. This was human space. Here, sensors never slept. The signal brushed against a listening net hidden between moons and cold stations. Alarms did not scream. They did not need to. A quiet alert spread through steel halls and command bridges. A distress call had been heard. On a massive human command ship, officers turned toward their screens. The signal was weak but clear, layered with fear and damage reports. It did not carry a threat. It carried desperation. The ship's artificial intelligence decoded it in seconds and passed it upward. The human commander, a tall figure with tired eyes, studied the data in silence. He had seen many such calls. Some were traps. Some were lies. Some were too late. "Origin?" he asked. "Unknown species," an officer replied. "Non-hostile profile. Light ship. Severe damage." The commander nodded slowly. He knew what this meant. Beyond their borders, many feared humans. They called them Deathworlders because humans came from a world that tried to kill them every day. High gravity shaped their bones. Diseases tested their blood. War trained their minds. Humans survived because they adapted and because they did not stop. "Any sign of ambush?" the commander asked. "None detected," came the answer. "Signal pattern is raw. No encryption tricks." Around the table, other officers watched quietly. Human ships were built for war. Thick armor, heavy guns, and engines that could tear space open. Yet this room was calm. No cheering. No hunger for battle. Only duty. The commander leaned forward. "Who is near enough to respond?" A star map appeared, showing dozens of fleets. Some were guarding borders. Others were on patrol. One group stood out. A fast response fleet, recently repaired and fully armed. "They can reach the signal in time," an officer said. "Then they go," the commander replied. No long speech followed. No vote. Orders moved fast through human systems. Across the region, ships powered up. Engines hummed, deep and angry. Crews moved with practiced speed. Humans did not rush. They prepared. As the fleet formed, a younger officer hesitated. "Sir," he said carefully. "The signal came from outside treaty space. Other powers may see this as aggression." The commander looked at him. "We are not attacking," he said. "We are answering a call." The fleet jumped into faster-than-light travel, space folding around them like dark water. Inside the ships, human crews strapped in. Some checked weapons. Others reviewed rescue protocols. Medics prepared for unknown biology. Engineers studied the damaged ship's data. Humans did not know who they were going to save, but they would be ready. Meanwhile, on the broken alien ship, time moved slowly. Power was almost gone. The crew sat close together, sharing heat and quiet words. The captain watched the starfield through a cracked display. The message from the unknown responders played again and again. Hold position. It was simple, yet it carried weight. Someone was coming. Fear did not leave them. Stories about Deathworlders were dark. Species crushed by human wars. Fleets erased in hours. The captain wondered if asking for help had been a mistake. But there was no choice now. Suddenly, long-range sensors flared. The junior officer's voice shook. Multiple warp signatures, she said. Large mass. Very large. The display filled with readings beyond anything they had seen. Ships bigger than cities. Energy levels that made their systems warn of overload. The enemy ships, still far away, also detected the newcomers. They paused. Then they turned. On one of the enemy vessels, commanders argued. The newcomers were human. Deathworlders. This was not part of the plan. Their weapons were strong, but human fleets were legends. Calculations ran fast. The answer was clear. They could not win. As the enemy retreated, the human fleet continued forward, unchallenged. A communication channel opened. This time, the signal was clearer, stronger. "We have you," the human message said. "Stay calm." The alien captain closed his eyes. For the first time since the attack, he allowed himself to breathe. Human ships dropped out of faster-than-light space like shadows becoming solid. They formed a protective ring around the damaged alien vessel. Smaller craft launched immediately. Repair drones flew toward broken hull plates. Shield emitters activated, wrapping the alien ship in a soft glow. Inside the human flagship, the commander watched the operation. "Begin rescue," he ordered. Teams moved. Medics prepared sterile zones. Translators loaded basic language models. Humans had learned long ago that first contact could go wrong without care. On the alien ship, the crew watched as their systems stabilized. Power returned. Air flowed cleaner. The computer's calm voice changed tone, announcing repairs in progress. Some crew members cried openly. Others stared in disbelief. The captain sent a message, unsure if it would be understood. It was simple. Gratitude. The human reply came quickly. "You're safe now." But safety was not the only thing being delivered. Across the galaxy, sensors noticed the movement. Fleets watched. Governments whispered. The Deathworlders had answered a call in the void. They had crossed lines without firing a single shot. As the human fleet held position, engines warm and weapons ready, one truth spread silently through space. When humans heard a cry for help, they did not ask who you were. They asked only one thing. Where are you? The human fleet moved with silent control, each ship holding its place like a wall of steel around the fragile alien vessel. From the outside, the contrast was clear. The alien ship was small, scarred, and tired. The human ships were vast, dark, and powerful, their armor marked with symbols of old wars. Engines glowed with restrained force, ready to burn space apart if needed. The alien crew watched through restored sensors, unable to look away. Inside the alien ship, systems slowly returned to life. Lights stopped flickering. Gravity stabilized. The air no longer tasted sharp and thin. Repair drones worked with smooth precision, sealing hull cracks and restoring damaged circuits. Every movement was careful, controlled, and fast. The alien engineers stood aside, watching technology far beyond their understanding. Nothing was forced. Nothing was rushed. The captain felt a strange mix of fear and awe. These were Deathworlders. Creatures shaped by violent worlds and endless struggle. Yet their actions were calm, almost gentle. He ordered a limited internal broadcast, telling his crew to remain calm and follow human instructions if contacted. Trust was dangerous, but panic was worse. A new message arrived, stronger and clearer than before. "We are dispatching medical and engineering teams," the human voice said. "We will not board without your permission." The captain paused. No species had ever asked that before. Most powerful fleets took control first and asked questions later. He replied with a simple acceptance. The moment the message sent, his hands trembled. From one of the human ships, a smaller craft detached and approached slowly. Its surface was smooth, marked with warning colors and clear symbols. It docked without a sound. The airlock sealed. Inside, the alien crew gathered, hearts racing. When the door opened, the aliens saw them for the first time. Humans were taller than expected, broader, heavier. Their movements were controlled but relaxed. Their eyes were forward-facing, focused, alert. Armor covered most of their bodies, but it was marked with signs of medical units, not weapons. The human leader removed his helmet first. His face showed lines of age and fatigue. His eyes scanned the room, not with hunger or anger, but with assessment. "We're here to help," he said slowly, letting the translator work. "You're safe." Some of the alien crew stepped back in fear. Others leaned forward in curiosity. The captain stepped ahead, forcing himself to stand tall. He bowed slightly, a sign of respect among his people. The human nodded in return. No dominance. No threat. Medical teams moved carefully, scanning alien bodies without touching unless allowed. Engineers spoke softly as they worked, explaining what they were doing in simple terms. Every action showed planning and experience. These humans had done this before. Meanwhile, on the edge of the system, the enemy ships watched from a distance. They had not fled far. They were waiting, hoping the humans would leave quickly. But the human fleet did not move. Instead, more ships arrived. Heavier ships. Carriers. The kind used when humans planned to stay. Enemy commanders argued again. They remembered stories of human wars. How battles ended not with victory, but with erasure. One by one, enemy ships powered down weapons and retreated fully. None dared test the human perimeter. Back aboard the alien ship, the captain spoke privately with the human officer. Through shared screens and patient translation, he explained the attack. Raiders. Slavers. Predators that targeted weak ships and vanished. The human listened without interruption. His jaw tightened slightly, but his voice stayed calm. "They won't touch you again," the human said. The captain did not know why, but he believed him. Outside, human ships adjusted formation, creating layered defenses. Long-range scanners swept the region. Communication buoys deployed, locking down space. To the galaxy, it looked like an act of war. To the humans, it was protection. Other alien civilizations noticed. Observers recorded data and sent warnings home. Humans were not just powerful. They were organized, disciplined, and fast to act. And they had responded to a distress call without demand or delay. That was new. That was dangerous in a different way. As hours passed, repairs finished. The alien ship was stable, though still weak. Human engineers offered escort to a safe system. The captain accepted. Pride mattered less than survival. Before departure, the human commander requested a brief meeting. He appeared on the main screen, standing on the bridge of his flagship. Behind him, officers worked in calm silence. "You sent a call into the void," the commander said. "You didn't know who would answer." "That is true," the captain replied. The commander nodded. "Understand this. We are not heroes. We are not saviors. We are humans. When we hear someone drowning, we reach out. That is all." The transmission ended. The alien ship began to move, escorted by giants of steel. As stars shifted and engines warmed, the crew felt something new settle over them. Not fear. Not relief. Respect. Far behind them, the battlefield remained empty. No wreckage. No victory signs. Only silence and the memory of a fleet that arrived not to conquer, but to answer a cry. Across the galaxy, the story spread quietly. The void had carried a distress call. What answered was not just a fleet of Deathworlders, but a promise written in steel. When humans came, they came fully. The journey toward safety had only just begun when danger returned. As the human fleet escorted the damaged alien ship through open space, long-range sensors detected movement at the edge of the system. At first it looked like drifting debris, cold and slow. Then the pattern changed. Ships emerged from hidden jump points, sleek and sharp like blades in the dark. The raiders had come back, drawn by greed and anger. They had not expected the Deathworlders to stay. Inside the human flagship, alerts flashed across command screens. Officers spoke in low, controlled voices. No panic followed. The human commander studied the data, his expression hard but calm. "They are testing us," he said. "They think we will leave once the rescue is done." On the alien ship, fear returned like a shadow. The crew saw the enemy ships forming attack lines. Memories of the first ambush burned fresh in their minds. Some believed the humans would withdraw to avoid conflict. Others feared they would be used as bait. The captain watched the human formation closely, searching for any sign of retreat. There was none. Human ships moved, smooth and precise. Heavy cruisers slid forward, placing themselves between the alien vessel and the incoming threat. Smaller ships spread outward, forming a wide net. Shield fields overlapped, creating layers of protection. The alien ship now sat at the center of a moving fortress. A communication channel opened. This time, the human voice was not directed at the aliens. It was sent openly, broadcast across all known frequencies. "You are entering a protected zone," the message said. "Turn back. This is your only warning." The raiders replied with silence, then weapons fire. Bright lines of energy tore through space, aimed at the outer edge of the human formation. The alien crew flinched, expecting chaos. Instead, the human shields absorbed the attack without effort. The energy scattered like rain against stone. The human commander raised his hand. "Return fire," he said. What followed was not rage. It was control. Human weapons did not spray blindly. Each shot was calculated, precise, and overwhelming. Enemy ships lost engines, then weapons, then power. Explosions bloomed in silent flashes, beautiful and terrifying. The raiders tried to scatter, but the human net closed around them. On the alien ship, sensors struggled to keep up. Their systems had never seen warfare on this scale. Humans did not just destroy targets. They removed them from the fight completely. Disabled ships drifted, powerless and exposed. One enemy vessel attempted a desperate move. It charged directly toward the alien ship, weapons overloading for a final strike. Before the alien crew could react, a human destroyer shifted position. It took the full attack head-on. Armor burned. Shields flared. The destroyer held. Then it fired once. The enemy ship vanished in a burst of light. The alien captain stared in disbelief. The human ship had shielded them without hesitation. Not for strategy. Not for reward. Simply because they were there. The battle ended as quickly as it began. Remaining raiders fled or surrendered. Human boarding craft moved in, securing prisoners with firm but controlled force. No cruelty followed. No celebration. Just efficiency. On the human flagship, the commander watched the final reports. "Secure the area," he ordered. "Maintain escort." An officer hesitated. "Sir, this sends a message." The commander nodded. "Good." That message spread faster than the battle itself. Observers across nearby systems recorded the engagement. They saw Deathworlders defend a weak alien ship as if it were their own. They saw power used not to dominate, but to protect. This confused many. It frightened others. On the alien ship, calm slowly returned. The crew realized something important. The humans had not come as temporary helpers. They had claimed responsibility. As long as the fleet remained, no predator would dare approach. The captain requested a private channel with the human commander. When the image appeared, the captain spoke with deep respect. "You risked much for us," he said. "Why?" The commander did not answer immediately. He looked tired. "Because someone once answered our call," he said finally. "Long ago. We learned from that day." The channel closed. The fleet resumed its course, moving deeper into protected space. Behind them, the battlefield faded into darkness. Wreckage drifted, silent proof of what happened to those who ignored a human warning. For the alien crew, the universe felt different now. The void no longer seemed empty and cruel. Somewhere in it lived beings who heard cries for help and answered with action. Across the galaxy, whispers turned into warnings. Do not hunt the weak when humans are near. Do not mistake kindness for weakness. The Deathworlders had shown their hand, and it was steady, strong, and unafraid. As the human fleet continued its steady escort, the alien crew began to understand why the galaxy feared Deathworlders. It was not only their weapons or their ships. It was their way of thinking. Humans planned for danger as if it were natural, expected, even normal. Every movement of the fleet showed layers of preparation. Sensors watched in all directions. Ships rotated duty positions without rest. Nothing was left to chance. On the alien ship, repairs were complete enough for limited travel, but human engineers remained close. They checked systems again and again, searching for hidden damage. When asked why, one human simply said, "Things break in space. We assume they will." That simple statement stayed with the alien crew. Humans did not hope for safety. They prepared for survival. The alien captain spent time observing the human command routines through shared data feeds. Humans trained constantly, even during escort. Simulations ran in the background. Crews practiced emergency drills with calm focus. No fear showed on their faces. It was not because they lacked fear. It was because they lived with it every day. The captain remembered old stories about deathworlds. Worlds where storms could tear land apart. Where gravity crushed the weak. Where creatures hunted each other without mercy. Humans had evolved there, shaped by endless pressure. Every step of their history was a fight to exist. That struggle had not made them cruel. It had made them ready. A human medical officer visited the alien ship to check on the crew. He moved slowly, speaking softly, careful not to frighten them. His body was heavy, dense with muscle and bone. The alien doctor studied him with professional curiosity. "Your species endures extreme stress," the alien said. The human nodded. "We always have." Data shared between ships revealed human biology. Strong immune systems. Fast healing. High pain tolerance. The alien crew was shocked. Many species would collapse under such strain. Humans adapted. Their bodies learned to survive where others failed. But the true lesson came when another threat appeared. Not raiders this time, but a natural danger. The fleet passed near a dying star, its gravity unstable and violent. Energy storms rippled through space, interfering with navigation. Most civilizations avoided such regions completely. The humans did not. Human ships adjusted formation instantly. Navigation systems recalculated. Shield frequencies shifted to counter radiation bursts. When the alien ship system struggled, a human cruiser locked tractor beams to stabilize it. The maneuver was risky. One mistake could pull both ships into disaster. The humans did not hesitate. The storm hit hard. Space twisted with invisible force. The alien ship shook, alarms blaring. Panic rose again. Then the humans acted. Orders flowed fast and clear. Engines burned against the pull. Shields held. The fleet moved as one body, cutting through chaos. Minutes later, the storm faded behind them. Silence returned. The alien crew stared at their screens, stunned. Humans had not only fought enemies. They had fought the universe itself and won. The captain requested another meeting with the human commander. This time, his voice carried deep respect. "Your people face danger as if it is routine," he said. The commander gave a small smile. "On our world, it is." The alien captain began to understand. Deathworlders were not dangerous because they loved violence. They were dangerous because they survived where violence was constant. Their strength came from necessity, not cruelty. Word of the storm crossing spread quickly. Observers recorded the event and shared it across networks. The message was clear. Humans did not just dominate battlefields. They endured environments others could not. That made them unpredictable and unstoppable. On the alien ship, fear slowly changed into something else. Admiration. The crew no longer hid when human teams visited. They asked questions. Humans answered honestly, without pride. They spoke of loss, of wars, of rebuilding again and again. Every story carried the same theme: fall, learn, adapt, survive. As the fleet neared a safe system, the alien captain looked back at the path they had taken. Raiders defeated. Storms crossed. Deathworlders standing firm. He realized the truth the galaxy had missed. Humans were not the threat. Ignoring them was. In quiet channels, alien diplomats began drafting new warnings. Do not provoke humans. Do not underestimate them. And above all, do not mistake their silence for weakness. The alien ship traveled on, guarded by beings born of a deadly world. The crew slept easier now, knowing that if the universe tried to break them again, the Deathworlders would stand in the way. The warning came too late. As the convoy entered the outer edge of the safe system, human sensors detected a massive energy spike far beyond normal raider activity. This was not a small hunting group or a desperate attack. This was a coordinated strike. Dozens of hostile ships emerged from concealed positions, their formations tight and aggressive. They had been waiting, watching the human escort, learning its patterns. Inside the human flagship, command lights shifted from calm blue to sharp red. Officers moved instantly, voices steady and controlled. The human commander stood at the center of the bridge, eyes fixed on the tactical display. "They want the alien ship," he said. "They think numbers will break us." On the alien vessel, panic threatened to overwhelm discipline. The crew saw enemy signatures multiply across their screens. This fleet was larger than any before. Weapons powered up everywhere. The captain felt the old fear return, heavy and cold. He knew his ship could not survive another direct attack. Human ships repositioned fast. The escort tightened. Heavy cruisers formed a solid wall ahead. Carriers deployed waves of fighters that spread like a living shield. Destroyers moved to the flanks, engines burning hard. Every ship knew its place. A message came through open channels, broadcast in every direction. The human voice was calm, almost cold. "This vessel is under human protection. Withdraw now." The enemy answered with fire. Space exploded into light and motion. Energy beams cut across the void. Missiles streaked forward, leaving burning trails. The battle was immediate and brutal. Human fighters met the attack head-on. They moved with terrifying speed, weaving through enemy fire. Their pilots did not hesitate. When one was hit, another filled the gap. Human carriers absorbed losses without slowing, launching more ships as if loss were expected, planned for. The alien crew watched in stunned silence. Humans fought as if they had rehearsed this exact moment. Every maneuver countered an enemy move. Every sacrifice served a purpose. Then the enemy revealed their final weapon. A massive ship surged forward, its core glowing with unstable energy. Scans showed a devastating charge building. If it fired, the blast would destroy the alien ship and tear through the human formation behind it. The human commander reacted instantly. "All units, fall back," he ordered. Then he added one command that froze the bridge. "Flagship, advance." The officers stared, but no one argued. The human flagship surged forward alone, placing itself directly between the alien ship and the incoming weapon. Shields flared to maximum. Power readings spiked beyond safe limits. On the alien ship, alarms screamed. The captain realized what the humans were doing. They were sacrificing their command vessel to save them. His voice broke as he sent a desperate message. "You will be destroyed." The human commander replied calmly. "Not today." The enemy weapon fired. Space itself seemed to tear as energy slammed into the human flagship. Shields shattered. Armor burned. Systems failed across the ship. For a moment, it looked as if the vessel would break apart. Human engineers fought to keep the core stable. Emergency teams sealed breaches. Power rerouted again and again. The flagship held, barely, absorbing the full force meant to kill the alien ship. The enemy ship, drained by its own attack, faltered. That moment was enough. Human cruisers unleashed everything they had. The enemy flagship was torn apart in a blinding flash. Silence followed, broken only by fading energy echoes. The remaining enemy ships scattered, their formation shattered. Many fled. Some were destroyed as they tried. The battle was over. The human flagship drifted, damaged but alive. Repair crews moved immediately. Fires were contained. Casualty reports came in, heavy but not fatal. The ship would survive. On the alien vessel, the crew wept openly. They had seen humans stand between them and annihilation without hesitation. This was not strategy alone. This was resolve. The alien captain opened a channel, unable to hide emotion. "You saved us at great cost." The human commander's image appeared, wounded but standing. "We protect those under our care," he said simply. Across the system, sensors recorded the battle. News spread fast. Humans had not only fought a superior force. They had placed themselves in the path of destruction to save another species. For the galaxy, this changed everything. Deathworlders were no longer just feared warriors. They were guardians willing to bleed for strangers. And that truth would echo far beyond the void. The void slowly returned to silence after the great battle, but it was not the same silence as before. Wreckage drifted where enemy ships once threatened, glowing fragments cooling as they moved through empty space. The human fleet held position, damaged ships surrounded by repair craft, lights flashing as crews worked without rest. Victory had been won, but it was a hard one, paid for with effort and blood. On the alien ship, the crew watched the scene with wide eyes, unable to fully understand what they had survived. They had expected death, then rescue, then escape, but not this. Not a stand made in their name. Human repair teams moved quickly, restoring shields, patching armor, stabilizing engines. Even after battle, there was no celebration. Only work. The human commander ordered a full security sweep, ensuring no hidden threats remained. Scouts ranged outward, scanning every shadow. Only when the last danger was confirmed gone did the fleet relax its combat posture. The alien captain felt a weight lift from his chest that he had carried since the first ambush. He gathered his crew and spoke calmly, telling them the truth. They were alive because humans had chosen to fight for them. Not for payment. Not for territory. Simply because they answered a call. A medical shuttle docked again with the alien ship, bringing fresh supplies and treating the wounded. Humans moved with care, adjusting to alien biology, learning fast, adapting as they always did. Injured alien crew were stabilized, their pain eased by hands that had moments before guided weapons of war. The contrast was overwhelming. The alien doctor watched a human medic save one of his crew with focused patience and realized something important. These beings were not split between war and mercy. They carried both together, balanced by discipline. On the human flagship, the commander received final reports. Losses had been taken, but none were wasted. Every sacrifice had purpose. He allowed himself a brief moment of stillness, then issued new orders. "Prepare for transition," he said. "We escort them all the way." No one questioned it. The alien ship began moving again, engines humming with restored strength, flanked closely by human cruisers. The path ahead led into a recognized safe system, one protected by treaties and patrols. For the first time since their journey began, the alien crew felt true safety approaching. As they traveled, communication channels opened between ships. Not commands. Conversations. Simple questions. Simple answers. Aliens asked humans about their world. Humans spoke of oceans, storms, cities, and skies that could burn or freeze without warning. They spoke of history filled with conflict, loss, and rebuilding. There was no pride in it. Just honesty. The alien crew listened, understanding at last why these beings were called Deathworlders. Survival was written into every part of them. When the fleet reached the edge of the safe system, local authorities reacted with shock. Human warships arriving in force were never ignored. Defensive grids powered up, messages flew, and fear rippled through command centers. The human commander sent a clear transmission ahead of time. "We are escorting a rescued vessel. No hostile intent." It was short, direct, and impossible to misread. The safe system's patrol ships approached carefully, then slowed. They scanned the alien vessel, confirmed its condition, and finally lowered their weapons. Docking lanes opened. The alien ship was guided forward, surrounded now by friendly signals instead of threats. As the ship crossed the boundary, something changed inside the crew. The tension they had lived with for so long finally broke. Some laughed. Some cried. Some simply sat in silence, overwhelmed. The captain stood alone for a moment, looking back at the human fleet through the viewing screen. Massive ships of steel and fire, scarred but steady, held their position just outside the system. They had completed their mission. A final message came through. "You are safe," the human commander said. "We will withdraw." The alien captain felt a sudden fear at the thought of them leaving. Not fear of humans, but fear of the universe without them. He sent a message filled with gratitude, respect, and something more. A promise that their actions would not be forgotten. The human reply was simple. "Take care of your people." The fleet turned away as one, engines lighting the dark. One by one, the ships entered faster than light travel and vanished, leaving behind only quiet space and a lasting memory. Inside the safe system, the alien ship docked at a station, greeted by stunned officials and medical teams. News spread instantly. Not just of survival, but of how it was achieved. Raiders defeated. A massive enemy fleet broken. Humans standing their ground for a species they had never met. Across the galaxy, the story traveled faster than any ship. It passed through trade routes, diplomatic halls, and military councils. The message was clear and unsettling. The Deathworlders did not just destroy threats. They chose who they would protect, and once they did, nothing short of annihilation would move them. In the void where the battle had taken place, debris drifted quietly, marking the site of a turning point. Victory had not come with conquest or flags. It had come with resolve. And the galaxy would remember that when the Deathworlders arrived, they did not come halfway. They came to finish what they started. The alien crew had never imagined a meeting like this. After the fleet had escorted them safely into the protected system, humans requested a formal communication session. The alien captain gathered his crew, reminding them to remain calm. The human fleet had been both terrifying and protective, and now it was time to meet those responsible face to face. The main viewing screen lit up with the image of the human commander standing on the bridge of his flagship. His presence was commanding, yet calm. Behind him, officers moved with quiet precision, showing no sign of fatigue or fear despite the recent battles. The alien captain could not hide his awe. The humans were larger than he expected, taller, broader, their bodies showing strength and endurance. Their faces carried lines of age, experience, and determination. When the commander removed his helmet, the captain noticed the clarity in his eyes. They were focused, intelligent, and unflinching. "Welcome," the human commander said simply. "You are safe now." The alien captain inclined his head respectfully, choosing his words carefully. "We owe you much," he said. "Your people risked themselves to protect ours. We did not understand you." The human commander shook his head slightly. "You misunderstand. We did not risk ourselves. We acted as we always would. When someone calls for help, we respond. That is all." The alien crew exchanged glances. The explanation was simple, yet it carried weight beyond their understanding. Humans had faced challenges far greater than this, yet they had chosen to act, to save rather than conquer. It was not only strength they possessed but a code, a principle that guided their every decision. The alien captain asked about the recent battles, about the enemy fleets that had tried to destroy them. The commander answered with calm honesty, explaining each tactic, each maneuver, why ships were placed where they were, and why sacrifices were necessary. There was no exaggeration, no prideful retelling of victories. Just facts, methodical and precise. The alien crew listened, realizing that the humans' efficiency in war was matched only by their discipline and clarity of purpose. "Your species is unlike any we have encountered," the captain admitted quietly. "We expected monsters. We feared conquerors. Instead, we found guardians." The human commander's lips curved slightly. "We are shaped by necessity," he said. "Our world demands it. We have survived storms, predators, and wars beyond imagination. That survival is in our bones. We do not seek to dominate. We seek to endure. And when we see another in danger, we act." The alien crew felt a deep respect forming. They understood now that humans were not merely strong. Their strength was purposeful, disciplined, and bound by a principle that few other species could comprehend. The human medical officer who had cared for the injured alien crew stepped forward next. He spoke in simple words, explaining basic biology and how his teams adapted their procedures to ensure every alien received the proper care. The aliens were amazed at the speed and efficiency with which humans learned and adjusted. Every action had reason and foresight. Engineers from the human ships demonstrated repair protocols and ship stabilization techniques. They moved with precision, showing how to restore critical systems under pressure. The aliens were both intimidated and inspired. It was not only the humans' power that awed them but their intelligence, their ability to respond calmly under extreme stress, and their capacity to adapt instantly to unforeseen situations. During the meeting, one of the alien crew asked a question that had weighed heavily on them. "Why do you help us? We are strangers, unknown to your people." The human commander looked at him steadily. "Because someone once helped us," he said. "We learned then that responding to a call is more important than understanding every detail. It is the right thing to do." The simplicity of the answer struck the alien crew deeply. They realized that humans measured value not by allegiance or species but by need and action. Trust was not freely given. It was earned through principles and deeds. And in this case, humans had earned it before even meeting them. As the meeting concluded, the alien captain sent a formal transmission to the human commander, expressing gratitude not only for the immediate rescue but for showing what humans represented. The commander replied simply, "Protect your people. That is what matters. We will always answer when called." As the alien crew watched the human fleet prepare to depart, a mixture of awe, respect, and lingering fear filled them. The humans had revealed themselves not only as warriors but as beings guided by code, discipline, and the will to act. The alien captain realized that the galaxy's perception of humans had been incomplete. Strength alone did not define them. Their resolve, their principles, and their adaptability made them formidable in ways few could predict. When the fleet jumped into faster-than-light travel, the alien crew felt a strange emptiness. The humans had left without seeking reward or acknowledgement. They had acted because it was necessary, because it was who they were. Across the galaxy, the story of this first contact spread. Observers recorded the rescue, noting that humans had protected a weaker species with unparalleled skill and purpose. Alien governments whispered warnings. The Deathworlders did not conquer lightly, but when they chose to act, their presence altered the balance of power. For the alien crew, the experience changed their understanding of the universe. Fear had transformed into trust, awe, and respect. The void no longer seemed indifferent. Somewhere within it lived beings who would answer a call, stand against overwhelming odds, and do what was right without expectation. The lesson was clear. When humans intervened, they did so fully, completely, and without compromise. The alien captain turned to his crew, seeing hope where once there had been only dread. They had survived, learned, and witnessed the truth of human resolve. And in the quiet aftermath, as stars shimmered beyond their window, the alien crew understood that the galaxy had changed. The Deathworlders were no longer distant legends of fear. They were guardians, guided by principle, and that knowledge would remain with the aliens forever. The news of the human fleet's actions spread faster than any ship could travel. Across multiple star systems, signals carried the tale of how Deathworlders had answered a distress call in the void. Observers, traders, and military scouts recorded every detail. Alien species who had long feared humans now debated what they had witnessed. It was not just the power of the humans that impressed them. It was their precision, their discipline, and their unwavering resolve to protect a weaker species. Governments convened emergency meetings to discuss the implications. Some feared the humans' growing influence. Others recognized an opportunity for protection if alliances could be made. Traders whispered in corridors, asking who could safely travel near human space without incurring wrath. Rumors circulated that any species ignoring a call for help might face consequences more severe than expected. On the alien ship, the crew received fragmented reports from networks they had not known existed. Their journey had become a legend even before reaching their destination. The captain gathered his crew and explained what the reports meant. "The galaxy now sees humans differently," he said. "They are not simply warriors. They are something else entirely. And that changes everything." Some crew members expressed fear. The humans had saved them, yes, but the scale of their power was intimidating. Others felt relief, knowing that protection existed in the vast emptiness of space. Across systems, the remaining enemy forces regrouped in secret. Some wondered if attacking humans directly could still succeed. Others abandoned the thought entirely, knowing firsthand what their weapons had failed to do. The human fleet itself remained in orbit around the alien vessel for several days, ensuring stability and offering assistance in navigation and repairs. Engineers shared data, medical teams continued checkups, and communication officers helped transmit messages to local authorities to prevent accidental confrontations. Humans did not interfere with the alien culture, their politics, or their decisions. They acted with care, restraint, and authority simultaneously, a combination alien species found both impressive and unnerving. Meanwhile, intelligence reports began to arrive from distant sectors. Some species studied human tactics, noting how they could fight multiple battles simultaneously, manage fleets efficiently, and protect the weak while conserving strength. The galaxy began to understand that humans were more than a military force. They were guardians with the capability to enforce their will when necessary, yet disciplined enough to do so without unnecessary cruelty. On the alien ship, a young officer asked why humans did not take control of the situation entirely. The captain explained what he had learned through observation and communication. "They do not dominate. They act with purpose, yes, but their goal is survival and protection, not conquest." The officer nodded, still processing the enormity of what had occurred. Local authorities in the safe system watched closely. They had seen fleets approach before, but never with the intention and precision displayed by humans. Docking lanes were cleared in advance, defenses temporarily lowered, and medical and repair teams prepared in anticipation. The humans coordinated all this seamlessly without formal demands. News of the event reached nearby empires and civilizations. Diplomats sent inquiries, attempting to understand whether humans would intervene elsewhere or only when personally involved. The repeated theme was clear: when humans answered a call, they did so fully and decisively. Their presence alone altered the strategic balance in the galaxy. In private communications, other species debated whether to provoke humans. Some argued that testing them might reveal weaknesses. Others, who had witnessed the battles or intercepted communications, warned that humans did not act recklessly. Each action was measured, calculated, and final. Back on the alien ship, repairs were completed, and stability returned. Crew members began to interact with humans more freely. Discussions about technology, biology, and tactics became commonplace. The aliens were learning at an unprecedented rate, absorbing information about the Deathworlders that could shape their own defenses and future policies. The captain observed quietly, realizing that the true lesson extended beyond survival. Humans taught resilience, discipline, and the understanding that power without purpose is meaningless. Finally, the day arrived when the human fleet prepared to depart entirely. Ships moved into formation, engines glowing, weapons ready, yet no aggression was intended. The alien captain communicated his gratitude one last time. "You have changed our understanding of the galaxy," he said. "We will not forget this." The human commander responded simply, "We act as we must. Protect your people. That is enough." With that, the fleet activated faster-than-light drives and vanished, leaving only calm space behind. The alien crew looked at each other, feeling the weight of what had occurred. Across the galaxy, messages continued to spread, and whispers of human intervention became legend. Species that had once feared humans now debated the consequences of ignoring them. Governments reconsidered strategies, trade routes were altered, and alliances re-evaluated. The galaxy had learned one undeniable truth. When humans chose to act, they did so with precision, power, and purpose that could not be ignored. On the alien ship, the captain reflected on the entire journey. Fear had transformed into trust, awe, and cautious hope. The universe was vast and dangerous, but the presence of humans had shifted the balance. The void, once silent and indifferent, now carried a message. Calls for help would be answered, and when humans came, they came fully, leaving a mark that could not be erased. The final chapter of the journey began as the alien ship settled safely into the heart of the protected system. The humans had completed their mission, but their influence lingered in every corner of space the fleet had touched. The alien captain watched quietly from the bridge as human ships positioned themselves for departure. Engines hummed with controlled power, shields glowed softly, and every movement was deliberate. Though their presence would soon vanish, the impression they left was indelible. Crew members gathered, some still trembling from recent battles, others quietly marveling at the scale and discipline of the humans they had come to know. The lessons of survival, courage, and resolve were not taught in words alone. They were embedded in every calculated maneuver, every act of protection, and every moment of unflinching commitment the humans had displayed. The captain called his crew together, speaking with a gravity that reflected the weight of their experiences. "We have witnessed something extraordinary," he said. "These beings, these Deathworlders, acted not out of fear or ambition, but because it was necessary. Their power is unmatched, but it is their discipline and purpose that define them." The crew listened, absorbing his words with a mix of relief and awe. They had survived raiders, weathered cosmic storms, and stood in the shadow of overwhelming force. They had been saved not by luck or chance, but by beings who embodied the principle that responding to a call for help was more important than any personal gain. As the humans prepared to leave, smaller escort crafts began aligning with the fleet. Communications channels opened one final time. The human commander's face appeared on the main screen, calm and direct. "Your journey is far from over," he said. "We will not remain indefinitely, but you must continue with caution. Protect your own. Learn. Adapt. Survive." The alien captain nodded solemnly, understanding the weight of the message. Humans did not seek to rule or dominate. They intervened when necessary, and their standards of action were absolute. To witness them in operation was to understand that mercy, strength, and principle were not contradictory, they were intertwined. The human fleet activated faster-than-light drives and vanished from view, leaving the alien ship surrounded by the calm vastness of space. For a moment, silence returned, but it was not empty. The crew could feel the residual presence of the humans' influence, the lessons embedded in their survival, and the certainty that the galaxy now knew a new kind of power existed, one that was precise, disciplined, and unwavering. The alien captain initiated internal systems checks, ensuring that the repairs performed by humans held firm. He oversaw his crew as they prepared for the next phase of their journey, aware that their survival was no longer just about avoiding immediate danger, but about understanding the broader implications of encountering beings like humans. News traveled faster than the alien ship itself. Across multiple star systems, sensors, communications relays, and intelligence networks picked up the movements and actions of the human fleet. Civilizations debated quietly among themselves, recognizing that the Deathworlders were no longer distant legends or mere warriors. They were guardians capable of reshaping the strategic balance of entire regions. Some feared them. Some sought to ally with them. Others quietly altered their trade routes and defense protocols, knowing that ignoring the presence of humans could have unforeseen consequences. Each record of human action carried the same underlying message. When humans chose to act, they did so fully, decisively, and without compromise. The alien crew began to reflect on their personal experiences. Each had faced fear, despair, and uncertainty, yet the humans had instilled a new understanding. Survival was not merely avoiding death, it was recognizing allies, respecting discipline, and acting with purpose. Humans had demonstrated that even in the harshest conditions, strength combined with principle could overcome threats far greater than any individual ship or fleet. The captain took particular note of the lessons embedded in their tactics. The humans' methods were not chaotic or reactive. Every move was deliberate, every response calculated. Their capacity to absorb danger, adapt instantly, and protect the weak without hesitation was something no traditional teaching could convey. It was an instinct honed through generations on a world that had demanded nothing less than total resilience. As the alien ship prepared to continue its journey through the galaxy, its crew discussed how to integrate these lessons into their own operations. They spoke of fleet coordination, emergency protocols, and rapid adaptation to unforeseen threats. Engineers who had witnessed human repair techniques began redesigning systems to incorporate similar redundancies. Medical teams adapted procedures inspired by the human medic's efficiency and flexibility. Even the youngest crew members, once paralyzed by fear of the unknown, found confidence in the example set by the humans. In quiet moments, the captain considered the broader meaning of what had occurred. The distress call they had sent into the void had not just summoned help, it had revealed the existence of beings whose presence altered the universe itself. Humans had acted without expectation of reward, without coercion, and without hesitation. Their actions had demonstrated that power was most effective when combined with purpose, discipline, and ethical clarity. The galaxy would remember this day, and the aliens themselves would carry its lessons forward into every encounter, every negotiation, and every battle yet to come. Finally, the alien captain transmitted one last message to the human commander. It was brief, respectful, and filled with gratitude. "You have saved our people and shown us what it means to act with honor and resolve. We will not forget this. The galaxy will not forget." The reply came swiftly, as simple and direct as all their communications had been: "Protect your people. That is all that matters." With that, the human fleet vanished into the void, leaving behind not just a rescued ship, but a legacy. The alien crew turned toward their next destination, aware that the universe had changed. Other species would now regard humans with a mixture of caution, respect, and perhaps fear. The void itself had carried their message. When a call for help echoes into the emptiness, humans will answer, fully and decisively. The alien captain looked at the stars stretching endlessly ahead and knew that survival was no longer a matter of luck or isolation. They had witnessed a standard of power and principle that would shape their future choices and guide their actions. As the alien ship moved forward, the crew understood the profound truth. In a galaxy filled with chaos, danger, and indifference, there existed a force willing to stand between life and destruction without hesitation. Humanity, forged on a harsh world of struggle and endurance, had shown that their presence was absolute. Their intervention had not merely saved lives, it had rewritten expectations and sent a clear signal across the stars. Wherever calls for help might echo in the future, there would now be hope, and there would now be fear for those who preyed on the weak. The void had been tested, and the Deathworlders had answered.